Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, currently there is a trending slogan on, well, basically all of social media. That is, all eyes on Rafah. This is in reference to the Rafah situation where it is believed that an attack by Israeli forces killed about 45, the death toll may have changed, civilians, bystanders, okay? And, when we examine this, there are people that are saying, how about all eyes on this hostage that the Hamas are keeping as a sex slave? How about all eyes on, October 7th when this started? How about all eyes on this general conflict? And let's be completely honest with you here. This is a perfect situation to examine, all right? What's going on? If you took this situation as a microcosm for the overall event, you would have to admit that there's something we can learn, all right? All eyes on Rafah. Let's look at the situation. We would start with, why is this situation happening? Because there is a terrorist organization that is pledging the death of all Jews, not Israelis, Jews, which means if they won in the Middle East, they would eventually come here for me. Okay? I am personally invested in this because these people have actually stated that they will kill me. Because I am of Hebrew heritage, my life is therefore forfeit. This organization has relentlessly attacked. They have taken hostages and they have sexually and morally abused those hostages. In fact, there is now a UN report stating that Hamas forces violated the bodies of the dead. Necrophilia. I would have to say that we're dealing with a morally bankrupt people. But it is not the fault of those 14, at least so far as we know, it is not the fault of those 45 people who died. So let's examine what's happening with them. Well, Hamas is a terrorist organization that has been functioning as their government, treats them like garbage, and believes that they're giving them the privilege of dying for God. This has actually been on the news. Hamas spokespeople have gone in front of the news and said, Israel will lose because they believe in life. We believe it is an honor to die for God. It is a privilege to die for God. So, automatically, one side does have the moral high ground here. You could say, they took their land. Okay, I don't know if it's actually a moral problem if you're taking land away from somebody who is going to abuse their people. If we occupied Russia right now and made it a better place for the people, that would not be a bad thing. Okay? It is not the people's land if they don't have a right to participate in their government. Hamas does not hold elections. There is no freedom. This is not their land. If anything, it would be the destruction of Hamas that would return the land to the people. Now, and I will make this clear. I've looked it up. People from Gaza, people from Palestine, they are considered stateless by the people of Israel. They are not barred from immigration. They are not barred from becoming citizens. So these people in Gaza have the right to go to Israel, live there for 4 years as a law-abiding citizen, apply for citizenship, and start voting. Okay? They have that right. That is the law. So far as I know. That's what I looked up. So then let's look at the inciting incident, which is the attack. Israel claims they dropped two 27-pound munitions on what they believed was a terrorist target. Satellite footage of the area shows that this target was actually nowhere near the camp. Footage of the ensuing fire which destroyed the camp, shows secondary explosions. This would imply not only one, that the Israeli munitions were not responsible for the disaster, but that there was a deliberately ignited ammo dump of some kind or equipment that was deliberately lit on fire to cause this disaster. Would imply that it is possible that these two events are complete coincidences. It's just unlikely. I mean, look, okay, it's a refugee camp. There could be fuel of some kind, kerosene, butane. It's possible that somebody was just cooking, lit the wrong thing on fire, and caused this disaster. Okay, we don't know what's happening. We can only go on what the images show us. And, okay, so one, if the Israelis hit the wrong target, which is possible, it is possible that their strike was responsible for starting the fire, but that they hit something they didn't know would blow up. Okay? They were trying to hit over here. Pilot got confused. Pilots are human. They hit this thing over here, and, this horrible situation occurred. Okay? Understand, this is war. Mistakes will happen. You're not being overly careful when it comes to who you're blowing up, unfortunately, because you got to get it blown up. I mean, you're trying to protect your people. If what's in your head is it's my children or theirs, my children are going to win. I'm not going to make the call in favor of the bad guy who's going to kidnap my wife and sexually abuse her. I'm not making that call. Okay, this is what the Israelis are facing. The terms that they've been given is every last one of you dies. Okay? Not we want we want this land to be our land and you get to leave. It's like, no, you leave, Hamas is going to hunt you down. That's what they're dealing with. And further, Hamas, who has said it is a privilege to die for God, if they blew up their own camp, if they sent someone there to ignite that munition, well, they would then believe that they are giving these people, these innocent people who have nothing to do with this and just want to live their damn lives, the privilege of dying for God. So yeah, all eyes on Rafah. All eyes should see the atrocity committed by Hamas and the unfortunate nature of this situation. I mean, look, every life is special. Every life is something that we cannot bring back. And in fact, I heard a rabbi recently say, okay, the moment you were born is the moment that God decided this earth could not live without you. Right? I personally don't believe that. I don't. I don't think I'm special. I'm certainly not making any great contribution to the world. I'm just a person trying to survive like everyone else in a world that's going increasingly mad. But, every time I delve into this, and I know in the comments section I'm going to get some Hamas lovers who are going to tell me how wrong I am and how evil the Jews are. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take every comment they give me and I'm going to research it, because that's what I do. And I'm probably going to find that they're lying. There was a guy that said, you should read this book on the Nakba and how the Jews did these terrible things. And I looked that book up, and it was highly criticized for being wildly inaccurate and extremely poorly sourced. Right? Dealing almost exclusively on eyewitness accounts and ignoring hard evidence. So, yeah. I would say that we should have all of our eyes on Rafah because we need to know what's happening there. But we shouldn't jump to conclusions and we shouldn't assume. Meaning, I didn't assume that Hamas were bad people based on someone saying Hamas were bad people. I watched the actual footage taken by body cams worn by actual Hamas during the October 7th attack. I have watched actual news footage of Hamas spokespeople. I have listened to the man who is the son of a Hamas leader give a deposition before the UN, telling me of how horribly he was treated and how he watched his friends killed by Hamas. Okay? I did the research. I even researched into the Israeli War of Independence and the Six-Day War, which is when Israel took Gaza from Egypt, and the UN resolution that forced Israel to ethnically cleanse their own people from Gaza. Okay? There was a time the Israeli military had to go in there and remove all the Jews from Gaza. All right? The UN said, no, Jews don't get to live there anymore. That's ethnic cleansing. So, when the UN ordered Israel to cease their operations in Rafah, I had to admit that the UN has made some very questionable choices about Jews. So yeah, all eyes on Rafah. Then open your eyes wider and see the whole picture. Understand the war. Understand the world. This is a conflict, and most conflicts are, built by ignorance. But ignorance is being propagated. Ignorance is being pushed into the public eye, and we as a people are being poisoned by ignorance. All of the most horrible things that have happened throughout history are ignorance-based. And if we could become a more educated people, we will live in a better world. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm not too sure I want to hear yours, but you're open to say it down in the comments below. I'm Richard.
Bro, it would be totally gnarly if you would comment, like, and subscribe. Then we could totally catch some sick waves together. I'm Danger Ducky.